What's up, guys? I'm back in the shop again this week. Today's Monday, and this week for us, for my family and the area I live in, is back to school week. So my kids are back in school this week, and so it's back to the routine of getting them to bed early and waking up early, all that stuff. So, but speaking of back to school, the project that I was working on over the weekend, I had a very productive weekend. I finished up the project on the bookshelf. Went ahead and made two chairs for that area in my house. So if you're new or you don't know, I made a chair and an activity table for my home, for my kids, to have somewhere to do homework, schoolwork, and that kind of thing. So, but this bookshelf I made over the weekend, I wanted to have a place to have some organization bins and some books and stuff. So I completed that, but I think I mentioned doing some edge banding, and I did not do that for a couple of reasons. Well, because of the table and chair, having that plywood look, that pure bond wood that I was using, plywood, I went with the same theme. So it looks just like the table and chairs, but also I went ahead and I made this video one of my Pure Bond videos. So you guys know I don't have a lot of sponsorships, but I do work with Pure Bond occasionally. So I like their product. I wouldn't mention them in the video or use their stuff if I didn't like them. Actually, the Pure Bond stuff that I can get somewhat local to me is probably some of the best stuff that I can get around here anyway. So I really don't mind using it. I really like using it, actually. So that video, I'm going to try to get it out. I'm going to shoot for just next Sunday because I want to go back to my Sunday release. This past Sunday, I didn't want to rush it because I want to have a full-blown article for it and all that stuff. Because I really think it's going to be a useful project for a lot of people that have kids, because it's going to have a desk and those chairs and a bookshelf and just the organization, and just like, I'm calling it the learning center. It's just a nice little area for my kids to be able to do schoolwork and crafts and sit down and read a book or whatever. And I think this table and chair is going to last a long time. And the bookshelf, I made it in a way to where you don't see any screws, so I used pocket holes, but I installed it to a wall, and I notched out the back a little bit to go over the molding. And so it kind of looks like a built-in, and you can't move it. It's not going to tip over. So this just, that bookshelf and the table and the three chairs, it just all came together. And so it looks really good, I think. But anyway, so yeah, so be looking out for that video. I think I mentioned I wasn't gonna video or record any of that, but I did. So I had to do that to get back in the swing of things. So that will be a project video. Another video that I'm going to do is a crosscut sled. So let me show you this sled that I got from Jay. He didn't use it very often. So this is a crosscut sled, and it's got one runner. It's meant to go over here and just use one side of the table saw, and the fence is on that side rather than this side. And I forget the guy's name he told me about, but he used it in a fashion to where he's just using about that much of the table saw, because once you cut something, all you need to do is just go past the blade. So the other crosscut sleds, your sled is like way out here because you're using the fence on this side, and so this has to go all the way to the blade, and then all of your sled is back over here. That's why you see a lot of dados or slots cut into the outfeed assembly table. That's why, because these things, they cut those to allow these to run out in the table. But my table sits lower. I don't have that issue. But anyway, this is a different style crosscut sled. This is a little loose, this runner is. I don't know if you can hear that on the video, but it's got just a little play in it, so I'd have to replace the runner. I may cut this off right here and just kind of try to rework this, or just make a totally new sled. But I do need a sled for my table saw. I want to start using that a lot more, and probably 90% of the time, actually. So this style is okay. I haven't, I don't know I don't know the advantages or disadvantages other than just using just a little bit of your table, you know, when you are sliding it back and forth, especially when you're just cutting a piece, you know, less than a foot long or whatever. So anyway, that's coming up soon on as a video, as a project video. So anyway, the bookshelf and the whole back to school table and chair video, all that's coming out. I'm in the editing phase now. I had the kids in the shop. They helped me with making those chairs, so that was good. I always like having them in the shop. I don't force it on them. I had several comments, people, why don't you have your kids in the shop, you know, more often? Well, I don't force them, you know, when they want to come out, they want to come out, and I welcome them into the shop. And so if I'm working on something, they want to help me, I totally say, come on, help me. But I don't say, you're coming to the shop today, you're going to help me do this, you're going to be in this video. I don't do any of that. So I just let them kind of come out when they want to. And so hopefully that'll grow on them. Actually, it already has. My middle boy told me Saturday when he was out here, he said, Daddy, anytime you're out here building stuff, I want to be out here with you. And so that just really hit home with me. So that was a good moment. Oh, I got some hats in. Had a couple of emails saying they wanted some hats. So I got some light blue and some gray. I get those local. They take a little bit longer because the place I use, they just stay really busy, but I really like the people and they're really nice. Reasonable prices, and so I stick with them. But I've got like 3 charcoals like I wear, and then I've got 3 light blues. They're on the website now if you guys are interested. And one thing I want to get your opinion on, or actually suggestions. So I use Bluetooth headsets, you know, the big white ones that I use sometimes. They're kind of bulky, but this thing, the ones I use just kind of stop randomly. And I think because I got them wet at one time. But I would love to have something a little less intrusive, I guess. I want something a little smaller, maybe some earbuds that wrap around the ear with it, just like a little cord, maybe some ISO tunes, something like that. You know, I want to be able to have Bluetooth and noise canceling or noise reduction or something, however you want to. All of that is, you know, you got noise canceling, you've got noise suppression, and something else. They're all different. They all mean something different, but something to kind of help reduce the noise in the shop and like when I'm on the lawnmower or whatever. But also Bluetooth. But I don't want to spend a lot of money on them because I know that with my kids and getting dusty and dirty, I don't want to replace them every so often. So if you've got any suggestions, if you guys use some, throw me some suggestions. I'm looking for a good set. That's all I've got on my list, and I guess that's all. All right, guys, we will talk to you later. See you tomorrow.